Good day. We are from Group 20 and today we will be discussing about global business services using Shell Business Operations Kuala Lumpur as our case study.
Now let's look at Shell Business Operations in Kuala Lumpur, or SBOKL. So SBO is a major GPS center that supports Shell's global operation in finance, HR, procurement, IT, and analytics. However, the company faces three key challenges. The first is talent retention, where skilled employees may leave for better opportunities. Second is the digital skills gap, especially in certain areas such as cybersecurity and data analytics. And third is regulatory compliance, as SBOKL must follow different regulations across multiple countries. These challenges are important because they can affect the company in the long-term competitiveness. I will now pass the presentation to the next speaker. Moving on to the next slide is Malaysia as a GPS hub. So Malaysia is one of the leading GPS hubs in the Asia-Pacific region, and this is due to its strategic location, strong digital infrastructure, skilled workforce, and high English proficiency. The government also supports the industry through digital initiatives and investment incentives. These advantages make Malaysia an attractive destination for multinational companies to establish GPS operations. Now let's look at Shell Business Operations in Kuala Lumpur, or SBOKL. So SBO is a major GPS center that supports Shell's global operation in finance, HR, procurement, IT, and analytics. However, the company faces three key challenges. The first is talent retention, where skilled employees may leave for better opportunities. Second is the digital skills gap, especially in certain areas such as cybersecurity and data analytics. And third is regulatory compliance, as SBOKL must follow different regulations across multiple countries. These challenges are important because they can affect the company in the long-term competitiveness. I will now pass the presentation to the next speaker.
Hi, my name is Irdina. So I will be talking about the three key challenges. So the first challenge is talent retention. This is a major concern for SBOKL because retaining experienced employees has become increasingly difficult. If we look at the bigger picture, Malaysia's voluntary turnover rate is around 9.5%, and almost half of companies are dealing with the same issue. So it's not just a Shell problem, but for a global business service center that depends on skilled employees, it has a significant impact. For SBOKL specifically, part of the challenge comes from past restructuring exercises. For example, in 2017, Shell cut around 1,300 jobs in Malaysia, and then another 300 roles were removed in 2021. Even though these decisions were made for business reasons, events like this can affect employee confidence and create uncertainty about the future. On top of that, many employees feel there's limited room for career growth. When people don't see a clear path to progress or take on new opportunities, they are more likely to start looking somewhere else. And there's also increasing concern about automation and AI. Around 31.5% of Malaysian employees worry that technology could eventually replace parts of their jobs. Since SBOKL is investing heavily in digital tools and automation, those concerns are becoming more relevant. And the result is higher recruitment and training costs, the loss of experienced employees, and disruptions to daily operations. For SBOKL, people are one of its biggest strengths, so keeping skilled talent is important for its future growth and success. Moving on to the second challenge, which is the digital skills gap. Shell has ambitious plans when it comes to digital transformation, including AI, automation, cloud computing, and advanced analytics. The challenge is that the skill needed to support these technologies are developing really quickly, and not everyone in the workforce has had the opportunity to build those capabilities yet. The gap is especially noticeable in areas such as data analytics, artificial intelligence and machine learning, cybersecurity, cloud architecture, and digital automation. These skills are becoming essential for the way modern global business services centers operate. And when there aren't enough employees with these capabilities, it becomes harder to get the full value from technology investments. Automation projects also may progress more slowly, and data may not be fully utilized for decision making, and innovation also can be limited. And what's making this even more challenging is the global energy transition. As companies across the industry invest in digital and sustainable solutions, the demand for tech savvy professionals continues to grow. And as a result, SBOKL is competing with many other organizations for the same talent. So the challenge isn't just about investing in technology, it's also about making sure employees have the skills needed to use that technology effectively. And without those capabilities, achieving a long term digital transformation can become much more difficult. Next, moving on to the third challenge, which is navigating global compliance complexity. So the main issue here is that SPOKL isn't just operating in one place. It actually supports shell operations in more than 80 countries, which means they are dealing with multiple countries at the same time. On top of that, they still need to comply with Malaysia's PDPA internal shell standards like SEAM, the Code of Conduct, and other governance requirements. So basically, they are balancing both internal policies and external regulations, and this can differ quite a bit depending on the country. The complexity increases because they handle large volumes of sensitive data like employee, customer, supplier, and financial informations. So accuracy and control are really critical here. Another challenge is that regulations are always changing, especially in areas like data privacy, cybersecurity, and governance, and sometimes requirements can even conflict between countries. So it's not just about following rules, it's about managing all this changing and sometimes conflicting requirements while making sure everything stays compliant across all regions. And if something goes wrong, the impact can be serious, like legal penalties, financial losses, and damage to trust and reputations. That's all from me. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Muhammad Amir bin Nazri. Now I'll be presenting to you the three recommended solutions for our case study. As previously mentioned from the three critical challenges, we decided to implement three integrated strategies to transform Shell business operation into a resilient, future-ready global business services center. As shown on the screen here, our solution target the three pillars of any modern enterprise. First, to tackle the talent retention, we propose a dual track career framework. Second, to close the digital skill gap, we recommended establishing an internal SBO digital academy paired up with an academic talent pipeline. And lastly, to master the regulatory complexity, we introduced an AI-driven RegTech system, which is governed by a compliance harmonization task force. I'll break down to you each solution in the next slide. For the first solution, it's important to highlight Malaysia's high voluntary turnover rate that GBS centers are highly knowledge intensive. If we do not provide technical high performers, we lose critical institutional knowledge to competitors. To address the issue, the change of management will run a crucial human-in-the-loop workshop for its employees. This is crucial to reframe the technology as a tool that can enhance human capability rather than replacing it. Moving on to the second solution, it will provide accredited training pathway in AI, cloud architecture, data analytics, and cybersecurity. Externally, the company will be formalizing a partnership with Multimedia University to update its digital skills. Modern GBS units only create true value when they shift away from basic transaction processing towards innovation-driven services. And lastly, for the third solution, organizations across multiple borders face highly fluid governance limits and overlapping. For global operations like Shell, it carries massive legal and financial risk. The strategy is to implement suitable frameworks to guarantee a zero compliance for its company. Now I'll be showing you and explaining the implementation roadmap for our case study. To execute this, we have mapped out a 12-month roadmap implementation. So for phase one, it focuses more on initiation and alignment, where it established the compliance task force, launching the change management campaign, and introducing a mentoring program for its employees. So for phase two, it focuses more on implementation and integration, where the company officially launched the dual track career framework, opened the SBO Digital Academy, and piloted RegTech for essentially the solutions. Now, lastly, for phase three, focuses more on the optimization and evaluation, where the company formalizes the academic partnerships and deploy newly skilled employees into the digital project. So for this roadmap, focuses more on three target KPIs. The first one being pushing voluntary turnover below 5%. The second, achieving a 75% or higher certification rate in the academy. And lastly, maintaining exactly zero regulatory compliant violation to ensure that the company is thriving in its innovation to the global business services world. In conclusion, global business services centers cannot just be about cutting costs and doing basic paperwork. They need to be engines that drive new ideas. By giving workers better career paths, stop them from leaving. By teaming up with universities like MAU to upgrade the skills, can close the technology gap. And by using smart AI tools, can protect the company from legal risks. These practical steps will make sure that Shell's business operation stays a strong, successful, and important part of Shell's global family. That's all from our group. Thank you.